All right, so welcome. I'm so glad that you're there today. So let's continue on how to spice up your marriage or your relationship. We've been on this, and now I'm giving you point number three. Point number three says, embrace new things, new concepts in your marriage or your relationship, as the case may be. So if you're just newly married, or you're about to get married, or you're married for many years, this is one point you need to think about. How do I embrace new things? How do I bring in new concept to spice up my marriage? Do we need to see the movies? Do we need to travel on a trip or holiday? Do we need to, buy a book and read together? Do we need to? So you will need to look at it exactly and ask yourself, what's a new thing I need to do right now that will help to spice up my marriage? Right? You will need to think about it actually. Not just thinking about it, think right and take action. Because sometimes we stay in our old ways, we stay in a normal way how we, of doing things. Sometimes you may just enter your car and drive for a long distance, buy something, eat something on the way, get excited, go for a birthday party, go for a program together. It could also be a spiritual retreat together. All of that, something exciting, sharing something exciting, to spark up your relationship. So think about it. Look at your values also and be able to know what exactly can I do now to add more value, more joy, to my relationship, and because it is highly needed. Right? Point number four, encourage individual progress or encourage one another. Right? Every one of you, both of you, you have dreams beyond the corporate or family dream. You have something else you are, going for, you want to achieve. Maybe you are the CEO of the company, and when the wife comes back and is sharing a couple of, success story, be able to at least encourage her, let her know that you are there with her, right? Not that they are talking to you and then you are getting off your attention. No, you would need to encourage the person. You will need to say words of encouragement. You need to put in finance where it requires finance. You need to make the calls where it required making calls. Whatever it is, that is required to be done. You are supposed to encourage the person with at least words of encouragement, right? So make sure that area of interest, that area he or she have set goals, help that person, help your partner to achieve it with joy and excitement. Okay, it's part of the things that spice up your marriage and help you to stay very happy. Again, point number five is the issue of intimacy. Intimacy starts with at least being able to spend time, but beyond spending time, you also be able to diversify your area of intimacy, right? Experiences, we've talked about that. And of course, when it comes to what they do in the bedroom, very important, you are supposed to, give it to one another, right? From the day you got married, you do not owe yourself, you do not owe that body anymore. So it's part of the way to spice up, don't starve your partner of sex. So important, right? You say you're punishing, you say you're doing, no, don't do that, right? Make sure you supply it when it's demanded. Yes, I use the word supply because you have to supply it. Whenever it's demanded, you supply it. But this is not something that you do forcefully. It has to be with understanding. Okay, sometimes the man is tired or the lady is tired. You should have this sense of understanding, all right, to be able to work together and make sure. But don't use it to do bargaining power, especially for women. Don't start saying, if you don't give me this, there is no sex for you this night, there is nothing for you next week. No, don't do that. Make sure you understand that this is your responsibility to make it happen. And then say words of encouragement to one another, say sweet words to one another, learn to create the right atmosphere ahead of time, right? For all of this to happen. Next talks about establishing boundaries, which is so important. Yes, we are in the same marriage, but there are still boundaries. Mutual respect for one another, understanding certain things that will help us to maintain this relationship very well. So it's so important that you know what these boundaries are. And for those that are not yet married, it's important you set those boundaries even ahead of time. What are those areas of boundaries that you require in your life? Set clear and healthy limits for both, one another, right? And make sure you value and respect this. So respecting each other's personal space is also important. Sometimes the guy just want to rest or the lady just want to rest, but you want to talk. So, you need to watch the mood of the person and know how to go about things. This relationship thing, this marriage thing, it has to do a lot with wisdom. It has to do with wisdom. A lot of wisdom is required to know how to manage relationship. Okay, so important, because sometimes you want this to happen right now and it's not forthcoming. The next thing, you start quarreling your partner. Please don't do that. Maturity is not about age, it's about your level of understanding, the degree of wisdom you exhibit per time, right? That's what is called maturity. When somebody says that you're a mature person, it means you have overgrown some childish acts, right? It also means that the wisdom is now resident in you. You are now acting in line with wisdom, okay? Of course, part of the things you need to practice to spice up your relationship is the issue of gratitude. As you go ahead and do things for one another, it's so important that you learn to appreciate one another. Thank you is not a big deal, right? I also want to say that the ladies or the women should learn to appreciate their husband. Of course, buy gifts for them also. Don't always be at the receiving end. It's as if most times you are the one receiving. No, you also learn to give. Write notes, love text messages, thank you messages, and all of that. When your husband appreciates you with a gift, learn to say thank you. Learn to do something to show that you are grateful, right? Yes, you will think it's your right to get that. It's a privilege. So learn to appreciate one another. Learn to know that this is my husband, this is my wife. You go for the best anytime you want to give something out. But beyond that, when you get it, learn to appreciate it. Even when it doesn't, match up to your expectation, say thank you first and then later present your case. Okay? Very important. Wisdom is profitable to direct. So you need a lot of wisdom in managing your relationship, and that's so important. Then, of course, the issue of family values and goals. From time to time, you guys need to sit down and evaluate it. How far have we gone? What are our goals for the year? Are we getting towards this goal? Are we working towards this goal? What is going on with the goals and all of that? You reflect on issues, sharing, ideas to how you can achieve this very thing you set as goal as at the beginning of the year. So this again brings about bonding and collaboration. Right? Sometimes the man is not able to see clearly, but the lady can see the other end and is able to present that. So learn to accept criticism, learn to accept, contribution as a man, learn to also know that there is a whole lot the wife you marry can do for you. Right? You need to know this and cherish that woman, even the contribution. Sometimes we the men, when they bring this contribution, you're like, you don't want to take all of it at the same time. But you know what? Ladies, relax. Most times and almost at all times, we end up doing what you want. We end up going after that same thing you suggested. Right? But you must learn to know that you present your case in submission. It's very important. If you are going to have peace in that home, everybody must know their place. The woman is the neck, while the man is the head. But you know what? The head also turns in line with wherever the neck, places its direction. So most times you are in charge as a woman, but you need to understand that you do this in submission, right? The neck is submitted to the head and is able to turn the head. So stop speaking like a man. Stop commanding like a man. Stop issuing instructions like a man to your husband. It doesn't work, right? Once you start speaking like a man, he sees you as a competitor. He want to crush you, want to come against you. You have what they call the feminine power of a woman. It also affects the way you talk, the way you present your matter, the way you present your case. You know what I'm talking about. So stop acting opposite of that. Make sure your relationship is sweet this year. Make sure you have the best. You have heaven on earth. It's possible, right? If you know whatever it is that you do and you have more peace, you have more joy, you have more happiness, why not do it often? Why not go ahead and do it all the time? right? Make sure you create a conducive atmosphere for your home, for the prosperity God is bringing your way, for the joy that is designed to hit your home this year. Open up your heart, love your wife, honor your husband, respect your husband, respect your husband. Very important. Stop speaking to him as if you gave birth to him. And don't change the pet name. Some of you change your pet name. It used to be Honey, now it's Daddy Ekene. No, don't do that. Stay on those love words. Stay on those beautiful words that you've used over the years. Don't allow that fire quench. So rekindle it all over again. Travel together, visit people together, love yourself. Sometimes you take the woman out, and it's very important. Both of you, let the kids wait for now, right? You move out together and then enjoy yourself and come back. I know you love that. All right, I'd like to thank you for today's broadcast. Please share it with all the couples, your friends, and those that are not yet married, they're about to get married. Please, you also need to listen to this so you understand how to build and spice up your relationship, even your marriage, once you get married. Signing out at this point, my name is Dr. Okoye. I'm your friend and I'm always ready to help out. God bless you.